So I got to talk to Jalyx Hunt, or excuse me, Super Bowl champion Jalyx Hunt. And it was cool. We had a really fun, sweeping conversation, which you'll see here in a moment, covering everything from, breaking down his film and his technique and getting into the real X's and O's, all the way to his dinner with Jeffrey Lurie and just stories from, a really character-rich Eagles team. We also talked about Vic Fangio for like 15 minutes because I'm fascinated by that man. I could have talked all day long and probably would have, except the camera overheated, and so we had to shoot the outro on an iPhone, and so that's why I look radioactive at the very end. But I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, consider hitting subscribe. And I just remembered something, because if I'm correct, you, Jalyx, are an Adele fan.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Hell yeah.
That's your pregame?
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to put on your pregame Adele mix?
Do I? What? I'll just put on my whole. It's not only Adele.
Okay.
But I'll throw in my mix for sure.
Adele is kind of an unusual pregame. How did you stumble into that?
Because Adele, the thing with playing, you wanna be fired up, but you don't want to be exhausted by the time the game starts.
Sure.
You don't want to be exhausted by the time the game starts. So you have to balance a fine line of, I want to rip someone's head off and control rage.
Sure.
So Adele, she kind of puts me in a limbo state. Her voice kind of hypnotizes me. I can't lie to you. Fire to the Rain is the first one always. My heart. Heroes to claim me.
I want to know at some point about your welcome to the NFL moment.
Mm-hmm.
This is your first play, right? So
My first play in the NFL?
This is the first play.
In the NFL?
This is your first snap right here.
Oh, snap. And I'm in a
remember?
4-eye?
That's right.
Say no more.
So I just want to know, what were you thinking at this moment? Because you're down inside, too.
Oh, don't mess up. And don't get
mess up.
pancaked. Yeah. I knew I needed to line up in the right place. Because watching film, there's a lot of checking off boxes if you're backside of the play. So I knew I needed to hustle. I knew I didn't want to get pancaked. And yeah, I knew I needed to line up in the right spot.
So about that, right? I mean, who's helping you out with that? Is that Nakobe? Was Nakobe the green dot before he went down?
They actually switched out, he and Zach Bond. So it really just depends. And then when Oren came in,
right,
it just depended on what formation we were in, what the personnel was. But in this play specifically, he doesn't really help me out. It's more of a communication up front. So you see we move right before. So Baker Mayfield, he likes to call a lot of dummy counts to see where we're moving, to see if safeties roll down, things like that. He has a great one, I can't lie. So we were jumping before so that he really couldn't get a read. So we jump over, and I move from a 4-eye down to kind of like a wide 3.
Gotcha. And so when you guys were, what does an Eagles play call sound like on these ones?
It's really simple. It might be cheat alert. That's
really?
It. That's it.
So how can, from cheat alert, how to align versus 11 personnel like that?
Yeah.
So if they came out in 12 and you hear cheat alert, you're going to know how to align based on that?
Okay. So it goes a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
So they come out in 12 personnel. We get a play call in. The play call speaks to the entire defense. So
right,
it might tell the safeties that we're in a cover 2 look, tells us we're in a 4-man rush, tells the linebackers where to go. But depending on the personnel that they come out in, different positions have different communications. So it could be I'm rolling down this side, and they could say a different word, maybe like Ringo, strong right, or Leo, strong left. It just depends.
So and you're listening for either the placement in the call or some other, coding within it to know what you're doing, what your responsibility is.
But
gotcha.
Vic, man, he always likes making things simple because he doesn't want us to be too confused. Especially, have you ever heard an offensive play call?
Go scatter to west, right, tight, F left, 372 Y stick, Z spot.
Nah, I don't want to do it, and I'm glad he's so simple because I don't want to listen to something like that when I'm going against Baker Mayfield,
right,
who's a dynamic runner and passer.
I want to ask about, is Vic cool?
Oh yeah, he's the coolest. We say he's in a mob. He's just a cool Italian guy. He started really opening up to us the more the season went on, when he first got there, he was judging everybody. You could just like see.
Well,
We were like,
Vic, I mean, I'm watching the Super Bowl, and you guys are up by 34,
Pissed.
and so they cut to Vic in the box, and he's just this
Same
grumpy
face.
old man, right? He won't even crack a smile. I don't know if he smiled once after winning the Super Bowl. So do you have a Vic story? Like, what is it about Vic Fangio? Give us the side to Vic that we don't see as fans.
that you don't see. Okay. What is a Vic? Vic's like Vic. He likes messing with people, which sounds weird because you see him and like you said, stale face, nothing's funny, but he'll say things with a straight face, and then he'll crack a little smirk, and you know he's joking. It's like okay. I can't really think of a joke specifically, but just things that happen. Like we'll be watching film, and we watch a lot of football. So we don't just watch our film, we watch a lot of football. So we watching another game, another team, the offense of the team we're going against, and we'll just see how other teams play them. Oh, 2 knees on the ground, he'll never make that play. Sorry player, sorry play. And then he's just so serious, and he'll look at you, smirk a little bit. It's like, okay, he's joking, but things like that. Nothing,
Right.
He's not going to crack too many jokes, but when he does, they're funny.
Did you see him smile after the Super Bowl?
I did.
Okay.
There's a picture of him standing at the front, trophy in hand, cheesing just a little bit.
And he is a genius. And
I
can you speak to like what is going on in that brain of his?
I can't. I've had the pleasure of really picking his brain. He likes to sit down with a lot of players, and he's always welcoming us into his office. And he went through just minute details that you watch on film and you wouldn't even pay attention to. And there's some people who really lock into every play, every down, every nuanced tendency that each D lineman has. And he's like, if you line up right here, he would never tell. Yeah. But that play, that alignment, maybe it's his inside eye rather than his inside shoulder. Line up, that split difference makes a world of difference when the ball's running your way. So he's just he's been around for so long.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I'm a nerd for the football history stuff. Yeah. And so I remember back in 2018 when the Rams were rolling, and he was defensive coordinator of the Bears then, and he rolled out this game plan. It was the 5-2 something, some front that had never been done before, pretty much.
Insane.
And it was this sloppy, disgusting game on Sunday Night Football that the Bears won, and it was because of Vic Fangio. And so they go on, and I don't know if you remember this, but they go and they lose to the Patriots that year in the Super Bowl.
They do.
And it was another really gross game. And a lot of what New England did was a result of Vic. And there are so many, like the coaching trees that come off of Vic. I mean, you are so fortunate in that you come in year one and you win the Super Bowl, right? Guys go their whole careers and never won one. You think about Larry Fitz, Barry Sanders, all these guys. And you're around this super influential defensive mind. Like, it's got to be kind of surreal for you to come in and just, I mean, I can't imagine a better spot for you. And even like, I remember when you got drafted, or telling me about you, right? And so I go and watch a little bit, and it's like, oh, he's this developmental pass rusher with combine measurables, out the wazoo, right? But he's raw or whatever. And it's like, oh, he goes to the Eagles, he's gonna be awesome. Because it's like, it's what you guys, it's what you guys do.
It's a factory.
And so, I mean, that's just got to be such a privilege. But I don't know, Vic Fangio, like. So tell me about like what the game plan was for the Chiefs, because I can watch it and see it, and like I know Vic's a lot of quarters and things like that. But what was the lead up like?
Locked in, but not in a way that you might think. A lot of people think it's the Super Bowl is the biggest game of my life. I can't mess up. I can't do this. Vic is being Vic. He's been like this. He's trained us essentially to take every game just as serious as it's been like the Super Bowl. We don't go into a game thinking, oh, we're just playing this team. We're just playing this team. Or now we're in the playoffs. We need to lock in. He doesn't want teams to score at all. Matter of fact, after we won the Super Bowl, we came in, I think we had the parade Friday. On Thursday, we came in just for a team meeting to let everybody know how the parade was going to go. The offense dips out. Vic, defense come out. He goes over, we have a checklist each game of what we need to do, and if you get a yes in those boxes, you'll 9 times out of 10 win. 9 times out of 10 win. Did we win? Yes. Did we hold them to less than 4 explosive plays, run or pass? Yes. Did we win on 3rd down conversions? Yes. Did we win on 4th down conversions? Did we stop them in the red zone? Did we miss tackles? Did we sack Mahomes? Like, each thing. He goes to just the first half stats. Good. We stopped them here. They got negative 55 yards, negative 11 in the first half. This is unacceptable. Circles the second half. Unacceptable. 22 points. We won. They didn't score in the first half. We're having a meeting after the Super Bowl. He wants perfection.
Right.
Like, through and through. And you can tell in the players that he recruits. Zach Bond, one of the smartest linebackers I've ever played with, I've ever seen play. Nakobe Dean, one of the most instinctual players I've ever seen. Oren Burke, so detailed, it's insane. But it's all because of BK, who's a linebacker coach, but then Vic Fangio. Like, he knows that in order for his defense to work, he has to have an insane linebacker. He demands
excellence.
He demands it from every level. The reason why the rookies that we perform so well, I know a lot of people are like, the rookies are doing, it wasn't like, if we play for Vic Fangio, we're not rookies. You're a professional football player. Act like you are. Like, we'll go in, we'll watch film. He'll say, this is unacceptable. You're a rookie, but this is bad. You're not going to play for me if you do this. Nobody wants to be called out in front of our entire defense. And then everybody feeds off of that energy. So just being around Vic Fangio, I think I'm set. Whether he's my coach forever or just while I'm at the Eagles, whatever the case is, I've learned so much from him in his first year. It's insane.
Yeah, and I don't think that's normal.
No,
like,
not at all.
I think that's a special room to be a part of.
Special breed.
You mentioned Zach Bond, a guy who coming out was a pass rusher, transitioned to inside linebacker either this season or, hasn't played his whole career there, regardless. And you say it's his intelligence. Do you have like a Zach Bond story? Or just an anecdote or something of like when you realized that Zach Bond was really like that?
Oh my gosh. What this is the playoff game? Huh? Billboard Bond, Big Play Bond, Pro Bowl Bond. I have so many nicknames for Bond, but it's hard to say because at the beginning of the season, I'm so focused on me being a rookie, right? Like,
sure.
I wanna play some more. I need to do this, I need to do that. I'm so focused on myself, and throughout the season I get more comfortable. I start watching more just football all in general. And I think it was maybe the Rams. No. Which one did he get a pick? Was it Jaden Daniels? Was this Jaden Daniels play? I really think it was Stafford. Regardless.
Okay.
He makes an interception where he's not supposed to be there. You watch the playback, and I ask him, why are you there? Like, you're supposed to be in the flat. He was like, I know this route tree. Like, I know I should be over number 3, but I know he's going to try to late release this tight end off the backside. So he just stayed there. Another one is in practice, the same pick he caught in the Super Bowl, he dropped in practice.
Really?
He dropped it in practice, and he was like, I won't drop this play. He's not supposed to really be there.
Right.
He's supposed to shade the strong side of the field a little bit more.
Here, we can pull that up, baby.
We definitely can.
Were you on the field for that? Or was that?
No. I ran onto the field. I ran onto the field after the fact.
Also, he's like I don't think of Zach Bond as his coverage backer, but he can play
smart.
and or at least coming into the year. But I mean, he really showed out.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. But I have to give. Sweaty would be mad if I didn't say he gets a hit with the quarterback by pushing Tooney into it.
Yeah. So that motion there, right?
Yeah.
This signal. I mean, I guess like you don't necessarily have to be super concerned with that as a D lineman.
Yeah. But we see the motion.
So was that a part of his recognition? Or
yeah, like where he's lined up right now.
Right.
I like this setup. You need a clicker.
I know. Tell Vic to hook me up.
So if you're looking at it,
right,
the strong side is to the left. He should shade number 3. There's no reason for him to be over here. Oren Burke has this. He's gonna what? What are we in? Yeah. He's on number 2 to the flat. He shouldn't be in the middle to the right side. He should be shading the running back coming out of the backfield. I know he has the flat, but they should be in and out basically.
What do you got? Is this a 2 or a 4 here? Split safety. That looks like 4 to me.
P, I like you. Man.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're definitely in 4.
Okay. And that's the Fangio staple there. So, all right. So if he's like a kind of lurking. So when you say his responsibility is really the running back.
Yeah. So if
talk
the
to me
running back,
about that.
So if the running back comes in, it looks like he has an option route, essentially. If he comes out of the backfield late and goes in, Zach has to pick that guy up. This safety has to come down and pick.
So wouldn't Coop be responsible here as like, curl flat type with the running back or not?
If he goes out.
Right. Oh, right. Because that's the whole thing. It's like you have rules. That's the other cool thing. And like, all right, I got a sneaky take that I'm not ready to unveil yet.
Okay.
But
we can talk about it after.
No. Like, I just haven't like put it out there yet. But all right, I see some parallels, and I'm gonna be very careful with this between you guys and that early 2010 Seahawks team.
Okay.
And it's because
the Legion of Boom.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you talk about extreme talent as the fundamental, right? You're not gonna have a great defense without that. But it's the characters, right? Which I want to talk about as well. All the guys on the team, all these alphas that it somehow fits together. But also the schematic stuff of like, you guys, like Vic is simple but effective. Like you guys are super fundamentally sound. And that's what Seattle was, right? That Seattle 3 was the dominant, defense in the NFL for a long time. And so you have all the carbon copies that come off of that, right? And then offenses evolve. And now we're at this dawn of, the quarters, soft coverage, efficiency, but you got to have the Jimmies and Joes, and that's what you guys had.
Yeah.
So I guess it's all dependent on how they break out, right? That's like the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's sloppy, right? It's too soft. Your zone coverage is too soft. If like, you want to be able to kind of play it like it's man.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you see, if you watch a lot of our film, you'll see that throughout the season, our corners, our nickels, dimes, they've gotten tighter and tighter throughout the playoffs because he's always saying, we need to be tighter, we need to be tighter, we need to be tighter.
All right, well, let's go to another play then that you were on the field for. Actually, well, here, we'll get there. But since we're talking about, like, kind of passing off routes and stuff, here's a play you were on the field for.
Is this Coop?
This is Coop.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll go sideline first. All right, so anything you see, like pre-snap, right, trips to the top, so you're aligning, right? So that's why, because Coop is what, the apex defender here, right? So
yeah, they're communicating right now.
Yep. So how you pass off this bunch, right? That matters as far as how they break, right?
Always.
And so Bond takes the flat, right? Well, I'll let you talk me through it, right? You take a look at it and then talk me through it. And if you want to click through.
So.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now what Zach's doing. Zach has this tight end. He has 3, basically.
Yep.
3 stays in to help protect. Doesn't really work.
Yep.
But so now he's looking for
a new... Okay, so Oren's passing him off.
Oren's passing him out. Yep. So he's looking for a new number 3. That's him. Coop is kind of lurking. He knows that, especially with them, they like to run a lot of clear out routes to something coming back across the field. This is where he is. Mm-hmm. So this is who he's throwing the ball to.
Hopkins.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball to Hopkins. Coop is looking for that play. As you can see up here, it's kind of manned up on these 2 receivers.
Right.
So Coop is looking to make this play. Everything else is covered.
So he knows, either through film study or just the principles of the defense, this receiver releases vertical, so Slay's going to take him. Mm-hmm. This receiver's vertical, you got inside help with Chauncey. And so, Coop,
what's up?
I mean, Coop is just freelancing at this point.
Coop is freelancing. He's looking. Fangio has him here on purpose.
Yeah.
Because he knows they like to run that route. Great block, Jay.
That's what I was going to talk about. All right, is there some fullbacking in your past? Like,
no,
all right, has Cooper officially thanked you for this? Because you threw 2 blocks on this.
Coop hasn't thanked me.
Yeah, he should. Coop, you made him a lot of money.
I did.
Look, 1, 2, put him on his ass.
I just like to see my teammates succeed.
Well, that's a selfless answer, but I'm here.
No, I'm being so for real.
No, I know.
I'm being so serious.
I know. You're being too selfless. I'm going to advocate for Jalyx here, and I'm going to say, Cooper, you owe him some money or something. Just thank the guy. Because you gave him a touchdown in the Super Bowl right here.
But nah, this is something that he's expecting. We knew that play was going to come. But yeah, nah, Coop getting in the end zone.
Yeah.
He got to get in the end zone. Right there, I was dog tired. I was like, please score, please score, please score.
All right, well, let's give you your shine here. First snap of the game.
Can we walk through Sweaty's rushes? I love Sweaty rushes in these plays in the Super Bowl.
All right, talk to me about Sweat, right? Because I mean, he's another guy, right? He's one of the guys that I think of when I was saying like, oh, it's gonna work, right? It's gonna work because it's like Sweat was a guy where another, how he drafts athletes, and Sweat is an athlete, and I mean, he really pops on film opposite you. So this is your first snap of the game here, and of course, you converged on Mahomes a couple times in this game. So when did you? Is it like required? Is it OTAs that they say you got to add Meek Mill to the playlist when you get drafted to film?
Nah, I've always just listened to Meek Mill. That's my guy. This is something that we've been talking about. I'm not gonna lie, I got in on that sack.
I know you did.
They
did they count it?
No, they didn't. They shorted me on the sack.
Well,
I'd rather.
Go around 87.
Yeah. We were excited when we saw 87 out there.
So you guys do a lot of like, and 4-3 over, right? Like that's I was watching film and that was one thing I saw a lot, and I saw you play both sides of it. Talk to me about like the difficulties, right? Because right here, Sweat has to work over Kelsey and potentially the tackle as well. Which side do you prefer, the weak or the strong? I mean, you can do either.
I had no choice. It was wherever the more vet guy is feeling like he's rushing. So if he's feeling that right side, I'm on the left side. If he's feeling that left side, I'm on the right side. So it really doesn't.
That's
really just depends. So
Vic gives you the freedom to do that stuff.
Yeah, he don't care as long as you make plays.
Yeah.
He's controlling, but he lets you thrive. Like in this, a lot of DCs want you to collision 87. It's Travis Kelsey. He's a great receiving tight end. No, he was like, if you make a play, make a play.
Yeah.
So especially in this play, if I'm thinking about Sweaty, because we've been watching film, we know 87 is trying to get out into his route. He's not going to give you a great block. He's going to give you one to slow you up a little bit. And in this one in particular, go back a little bit. Let me make sure. Yeah. So this one, they have the center blocking back.
Yeah.
He's too slow.
Yep.
He's entirely too slow.
I mean, a whole step too.
Yeah. So they're trying to set up. They're trying to set up some type of not screen for Kelsey.
Well, they get all type of lateral.
Yeah, they get all types of movements and things like that.
So talk to me a little bit about that. I mean, the game plan. You guys casually kind of dismantled what a would-be dynasty, and still kind of is. But it's like, what do they teach you on the trick plays? Like, you're going to see them, you're going to see. I mean, Andy Reid is always going to call a number of screens in any game. Like, how do you kind of have the eye discipline to work through all that traffic?
This is where the details and everything comes into play, and where pressure comes in too. You can't run that many trick plays if somebody's in your face the entire time. So rushing and getting pressure on the quarterback was all year. Even started with Mr. Lurie. We had a dinner. He took us out to dinner, and he said, we're going to win this thing based on you front seven.
Tell me about your dinner with Jeff Lurie.
He's a cool guy. Like, he loves football. He loves the Eagles. And not oddly, but you know, if you talk about an owner, you don't necessarily think he cares about the players as much as you would think, but he really cares. Whenever I see him, we talk for a little minute. His son, his wife, everything. So he took us out to dinner, and he just chopped it up. And at the end, he said, "I'm glad y'all are all here. We picked you here. We want you here on purpose. We want to make a long run in the playoffs. And we want to win it all, and it's going to start with y'all." And that's what happened. Yeah. Honestly, 0 blitzes, 6 sacks, crazy percentage
of pressure. Talk about that, right? Because that's a stat that that is really a signal that the defensive line was getting after it, right?
Dominant.
And 0 blitzes and 6 sacks. Like, what does that mean to you?
It means I'm doing my job well. I might have a job for a little bit longer. Is what that means. But if you really break it down, you have to. If you go through each player, especially this play in particular, there's a lot that you can go into. So they have the tight end. He's
Well,
kind of
hang on,
wide.
Is this sweat? This is you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Take me through. All right. You sacked Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
I did sack Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
That's something you're gonna be telling your grandkids about.
Oh yeah. I don't even. Patrick Mahomes great. I'm gonna show him the ring. I got a ring in the Super Bowl. The ring is great. But yeah, the sack is awesome.
All right. Take me in.
This is everybody on this line of scrimmage is gonna have a one-on-one at some point. So looking at Sweat, he's not gonna have a one-on-one. He's got to get through Kelsey. We got Pacheco in the backfield too. He's inside. He's not wide, so he's not going out for a pass. We call it child. He's not child. He's in the protection, so he's most likely going to have to chip Sweat. Sweat knows that. We have JC right here. You don't not slide to JC. He's JC. He's Jalen Carter.
Right.
So you have two right there. Mo has been dominant.
He pops.
Yeah. He's been dominant. So you have to respect him in the game. This is the second quarter. So it's on me to have this one-on-one. I have to win my one-on-ones. That's something that we talk about in our room, in the D-line room, in the DN room. You have to win your one-on-ones when you get them. The entire week, Tooney has short arms. He's a guard.
I actually took note of that.
Yeah.
Right, because his arms were 10th percentile for guards, and you're up
Really?
there at 80. Tooney's a hell of a guard.
He is.
But he's out there playing tackle. Like, there's got to be a
Hall of Fame guard.
Hall of Fame guard.
It's hard to play tackle.
It's hard to play tackle,
switch.
and your job is to beat tackles.
So I knew in order for me to get a sack this week that defeating that inside arm was going to be pivotal. So whether or not we were running games, like an exit, a text, I have to knock that inside arm down in order to get any space. So in this one, he's expecting me to go upfield. I know
he's also, I mean, that's like your skill set too.
Yeah.
So he probably saw on film, okay, Jalyx, is like an explosive player, probably wants to go around me, but you were one step ahead.
Yeah, especially if he's watching the Commanders. The Coleman, I worked a lot of inside jabs and things with him. Jabs don't really sit him down as much as I would want them to. So I knew it was going to be difficult. But one thing that I did see watching film is that he struggles with power. He struggles sitting down power, especially from a distance like this.
And he's also, I mean, he looks a little undersized.
I think he's like 300.
Right, and but that's like different from 330.
Yeah, that is different from 330.
If you're going to speed to power, like you can displace him, and that's what you do.
You can, yeah. And I watching just other people rush him. Sweat rushed him a little bit. Nolan rushing him a little bit. Like whoever, I always try to build on top of what they were doing because I know he's thinking, and I know how he's.
So that's cool to me. This exchange between the edge rushers, like you guys are saying what's working, what's not. I want to be here, right? You kind of defer to the veterans that way. That's really cool. And we talk about halftime adjustments. This is
in game, in game, series by series adjustments.
Subtleties like that is like that's pretty sweet.
And that's something that I'm learning too, like understanding rushes and how to rush and watching other people rush.
Yeah, it's an art within itself. We know that.
It is.
What could you compare it to? Is there anything else? I would think like boxing or fencing.
I would say it's a little bit of boxing because boxing is a give and take. You throw something, you see how he reacts to it. You throw a feint, you see how he reacts to it, and it's a lot like this. If I'm jabbing and I see you aren't biting on the jab, if I jab and you don't sit down, I can throw you by. If I jab and you sit down real heavy, I might be able to work something out. Or if I'm stabbing you, and you're letting me get in your chest, I'm a 1-2 speed to power. I'm gonna make you respect me. So now you gotta drop your hands, sit down a little bit. Now I can work whatever moves I wanna work outside. And that's something I hadn't realized and really appreciated before playing for the Eagles and listening to Coach Washburn or Nolan or Josh Sweat, BG, any of those guys. And in this play specifically, I know I have to defeat that inside arm. So when I hit his chest, I instantly go into a lift so he can't replace with that inside arm because that's the only thing that could keep him on balance. So as you see, I go in, I throw it up.
I mean, that
and
right
that's
there.
the position I need. That's the position I need because he can't reset now. Because if you look at him, he's trying to reset underneath with that inside arm. But it's hard to catch your balance.
Well, Jalyx, I appreciate you coming on. And,
Thank you for having me.
Good luck to you this next season and moving forward and everything like that.
Thank you very much.
Sweet.
Appreciate you. My dog.